Lewis Hamilton finally lets his feelings known about Abu Dhabi 2021 in a recent verbal attack on Max Verstappen. The seven-time world champion claims he was robbed and that it still hurts him to this day. Let's hear what Sir Lewis said during his outburst in today's video. Lewis Hamilton has recently expressed that he has come to terms with the events of the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, mentioning that while he'll always remember it whenever he watches a clip of the race, he feels at peace about it now. This comes after Max Verstappen overtook Hamilton on the last lap of the season, a moment Hamilton had described as manipulated over team radio at that time. During the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, Lewis Hamilton had dominated most of the race. However, a crash involving Nicholas Latifi led to the deployment of the safety car. Max Verstappen took advantage of this situation by pitting for soft tyres, and there was a controversial moment where only the lapped cars between the two leading drivers were allowed to overtake the safety car, which appeared to violate FIA regulations. Instead of following the standard procedure of running an extra lap under safety car conditions, which would have resulted in the race ending with the safety car on track, the decision was made to bring the safety car in for the final lap. This left Lewis Hamilton on worn hard tyres while Max Verstappen had the advantage of fresher soft rubber. Verstappen capitalised on this advantage by overtaking Hamilton at the Turn 5 hairpin, securing his first world championship in a race filled with both drama and controversy. Since that eventful night in Abu Dhabi, Lewis Hamilton has had time to reflect on his reaction to the race outcome. He shared that having his father, Anthony, present in the pit lane provided him with a sense of comfort during that challenging time. Speaking to GQ magazine when asked about feeling robbed of an eighth title, Hamilton provided insights into his thoughts and emotions surrounding the situation. Was I robbed? Obviously, you know the story. But I think what was really beautiful in that moment, which I take away from it, was my dad was with me, and we'd gone through this huge roller coaster of life together, ups and downs, and the day that it hurt the most, he was there, and the way he raised me was to always stand up, keep your head high. And I obviously went to congratulate Max and not realising the impact that would have. But also I was really conscious of there's a mini-me watching. This is the defining moment of my life. And I think it really was. I felt it. I didn't know how it was going to be perceived. I hadn't visualised it. But I was definitely conscious of these next 50 metres that I walk is where I fall to the ground and die, or I rise up. When questioned about whether he still fixates on the events of that night at Yas Marina, the seven-time world champion now approaches the situation with a pragmatic perspective. His response reflects this shift in attitude. If I see a clip of it, I still feel it, but I'm at peace with it. There's a common belief that Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen have shaped their teams around themselves at Mercedes and Red Bull Racing, respectively. However, Aston Martin driver Fernando Alonso disagrees with this notion. According to the Spaniard, the two multiple world champions simply joined teams that were already winning. Hamilton made a significant move in 2013, and starting from the 2014 season, he enjoyed a period of remarkable dominance with Mercedes. However, according to Alonso, this dominance wasn't solely due to Hamilton's individual contributions. He told Marca, "When Hamilton went to Mercedes, he didn't build anything to become champion. It was only the change in regulations, switch to hybrid engines, which changed everything on the grid and gave Mercedes a boost. I think the same with Max. He joined Toro Rosso, now AlphaTauri and Red Bull, but Hamilton kept winning everything. Red Bull is not a winning team thanks to him. It is simply the regulation change in 2021 that has made them win all the races now. When we say we can build teams around us, we can't do that at all. I don't understand it. This is a sport where technical decisions, regulations, or the inspiration of the designers make more difference than someone's input or personality, or the way someone drives." The Formula One paddock has been abuzz with discussions about three-time world champion Max Verstappen's future at Red Bull Racing in recent weeks. This speculation has been fueled by the ongoing scrutiny surrounding team principal Christian Horner. It's worth noting that Verstappen is currently under contract with Red Bull until 2028. Mercedes is reportedly aggressively pursuing the 26-year-old Verstappen, as they seek to fill the void left by Lewis Hamilton's unexpected move to Ferrari in 2025. Additionally, Aston Martin has also shown interest in acquiring Verstappen's services. Since the Australian Grand Prix, Verstappen has appeared more confident about his future with Red Bull. However, this hasn't halted the ongoing speculation or Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff's desire to secure what could be one of the most significant driver transfers in Formula One history. Jacques Villeneuve has put forward the idea that Toto Wolff's pursuit of Verstappen could be a strategic move to unsettle Red Bull and Christian Horner, with whom Wolff has a long-standing personal rivalry. The intense battle for the 2021 World Championship further fueled the rivalry between the two teams, which have been the most successful in Formula One over the past decade. While in a conversation with The Express, he said, "I can't imagine Toto Wolff wanting Max. The only way he would entertain the idea would just be to annoy Red Bull. I can't see him at Mercedes because they lost the championship to Red Bull and Max. It would definitely not be because he really wanted Max. It would be more to do with wanting to get at Red Bull. There are a lot of personal vendettas in there right now, both inside and outside of Red Bull. The whole thing is a mess. Would the team be as good without Horner? That is a difficult one. Would the team win without Verstappen? Probably. Max is winning because he has an amazing car, and Red Bull are winning because they have an amazing driver. But he is not the only amazing driver that exists. Put Alonso in that car and he would be winning as well. I am sure Max believes he could win at Mercedes and at Ferrari as well, and that he would make a difference. He has to believe like that. And he might be able to make that much of a difference. But that is something we won't know until he makes that move. Right now he is beating Perez and that makes him look amazing. But we don't know how good Perez really is, we just know he is not as good as Verstappen. Former F1 driver Mark Blundell has raised the question of whether Max Verstappen would choose to remain in Formula One, or potentially step away from the sport at some point. Verstappen has been vocal about his desire not to prolong his career at the pinnacle of motorsport, and has expressed interest in exploring other avenues such as endurance racing, GT racing, and managing his sim racing team. Despite not being driven by records, Max Verstappen, a three-time world champion, has acknowledged the possibility of aiming for the 7 world titles held by Lewis Hamilton and Michael Schumacher. This achievement could be within reach by the end of his current contract with Red Bull, given his current performance trajectory. Former McLaren and Tyrrell driver Mark Blundell has questioned whether Max Verstappen is the type of driver who would choose to retire from Formula One when he's had enough, regardless of records or other factors. Blundell expressed his thoughts to ASODS when asked if Verstappen could be remembered as one of the all-time great Formula One drivers. Well, I think he could be in a conversation that we're having at the moment about Schumacher and Hamilton, for sure, yeah. Unless somebody knocks them off their perch, I think Red Bull and Verstappen as a combination are going to be tough to beat, especially over the next season or two. It's definitely got some possibilities there of putting a name in the history books of the big scorers, but I think Max is an interesting character. He's one of those guys that you could very easily see him go and do something and actually just walk away from it, and that would be the end of that. I don't kind of see him at the moment being one of these guys who is going to stay in for the rest of his days. He doesn't strike me as that person, I might be wrong, but it just strikes me that he's all about getting done what he needs to do in the job at hand. And when he's had enough, he's had enough. We'll wait and see. According to reports, Aston Martin's ambitious boss and team owner Lawrence Stroll is making a significant effort to poach Adrian Newey from Red Bull. Newey, who has been with Red Bull since 2006 and has played a crucial role in their 13 World Championships, is being targeted by Stroll with the aim of elevating Aston Martin from an upper midfield team to championship contenders. Aston Martin has been strategically positioning itself to challenge for titles in Formula One. They acquired the midfield Racing Point outfit and secured star driver Fernando Alonso. Additionally, the team has successfully attracted key designers from other F1 rivals and completed the move to a new state-of-the-art headquarters last season. Aston Martin has secured a Honda Works deal for 2026, and they see Adrian Newey as the final piece needed to build a championship-contending team. This development could also influence Fernando Alonso to remain with the team. However, even if Alonso decides to leave for another team, Aston Martin has expressed openness to signing another Red Bull star such as Max Verstappen if the opportunity arises. Adrian Newey signed a new deal with Red Bull Racing last year, expressing his commitment to the team. However, the recent instability involving team boss Christian Horner and key personnel may have influenced Lawrence Stroll's attempt to persuade Newey to reconsider. Aston Martin has chosen not to comment on the reported approach. What's your take on Red Bull's shaky future? Are they on the verge of losing both Max Verstappen and Adrian Newey? Tell us in the comments section down below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching.